Welcome to the Queer Witch Project, your resource for all things queer and witchy. I am Damona Peacock, your fabulous, non-binary, neurospicy ordained queerdo with a fascination for all things cycles, symbolism, and patterns.
And I'm Moonkittee, your queer femme poly kitchen witch and proud geek. Today's topic is Lammas or Lughnasadh.
Yay!
Yay! So, in our excitement to get our podcast off the ground and running last year, we realized, somewhere about December, January-ish, that we kind of forgot a holiday in the wheel of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I love that we have an episode so far of all of the different,
Uh-huh.
holidays and Sabbats, but
Yes.
we missed this one. So, well, we didn't miss it. We just postponed it by a
We
year.
exactly. We totally postponed it by a year. So now with this episode, we will be complete for the Sabbaths of the Wheel of the year, which is kind of nice.
Yay! So then what is Lammas or Lughnasadh?
It is, well, it's the halfway point between summer solstice and fall equinox. If
Which
we're
usually
talking about,
falls
which usually falls around August.
first,
First
right?
week, August 1st, first week of August is around that time frame. And again, it's one of the quarter
Mm.
holidays
Between the
between
equinoxes and the solstices.
exactly and everything on there. And what's really interesting is again, because it's starting in the beginning of August, it's really the beginning of the harvest season. So everything
Hmm.
around Lammas and Lughnasadh, and it goes by both names depending on which tradition you are following. It's about the idea of you're starting to think about what is going to see you through the winter. And so because of that, it's also known as the bread holiday.
Bread holiday. Hey, I'm always down for a bread holiday.
Exactly.
I
Anything
like
that says,
bread.
oh, gee, you must make bread and eat bread, all the delicious
So
bread. I am okay with this.
so much sympathy and empathy for our gluten-free friends out there.
But that being said, there are some really decent gluten-free flours that you can make gluten-free bread with because I have done that for friends before too. So
Okay,
there
my
is
kitchen
good,
witch
tasty
friend.
gluten-free stuff out there too. So you do not have, if you are gluten-free or you are
You can
vegan,
still celebrate the
you
bread
can still
holiday.
celebrate the bread holiday. There are other ways that you can do that.
Nice.
Um, so it's great. So yes, do what you need to do for the health of your body.
Okay, why is it called a bread holiday?
Well, once upon a time in medieval Ireland, it wasn't good to actually harvest the grain before Lammas because if you harvested too early, then you ran out before the next harvest was ready, and
Mm.
it meant that you wouldn't necessarily have enough to last the winter length.
Hmm.
So if you harvest too early, you wouldn't have enough to go out through all the long winter months. So that's was that first aspect of harvest. So on Lammas, the first sheaves of grain were then cut, and then by that night, that first loaf of bread was baked. And the idea and the word for Lammas comes from that old English phrase that translates to loaf mass because in early Christianity, the first loaves you baked from the first harvest were then blessed by the church during Mass. It's the celebration and that ritual, as we talk about
Mm-hmm.
witchiness and rituals and all that kind of stuff
Yep.
of harvesting, preparing the loaf, and having it blessed. So there is a long harvest, and also that your harvest will last through the cold winter months.
Oh, that's actually really beautiful.
Isn't it a
Because,
great idea for Lammas? Yeah.
yeah, blessing the harvest and
Hmm.
ask, showing gratitude for the abundance that we're given, but also investing in needing a good harvest, really, and
Yes.
keep pouring the magic into,
Hmm.
we've done all the work to cultivate these food for our
Right.
families, soup for my kids, soup for my family,
Yes.
food, and we're still investing in now drawing in the abundance and collecting the abundance and turning it into sustenance.
Hmm. So that's Lammas, but what about Lughnasadh?
Okay, so Lughnasadh is often reminds me of like Lu, the god Lu. So there's this mythology, and we'll talk about it in a minute, but like it's also kind of like the Oak King and the Holly King meeting up again.
Hmm.
A little, it's some of so Lu always kind of reminds me of Holly King vibe or Oak King rather Oak King vibe. And so I always feel like the seasons that are kind of still having it out, because
Mm-hmm.
as harvest season comes in, you're starting to feel autumn approaching,
Mm-hmm.
and summer is on its way out.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten through the summer. But so the Lu is the Celtic god with many skills, including craftsmanship, warfare, agriculture, and in Irish mythology, Lughnasadh is said to have been founded by Lu as a funeral feast and an athletic competition.
Hmm.
I don't know how those two go together, but funeral games, apparently, to commemorate the death of the earth goddess Talchu, who is often called his foster mom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't Mother Earth our
Yes,
foster mom? All of us.
absolutely.
So, so funeral games commemorating her death. She was said to have died, relatable,
Mm-hmm.
of the exhaustion of after clearing the plains of Ireland for agriculture. Talchu may have been an earth goddess who represents the dying vegetation that feeds mankind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Lughnasadh is the god Lu's funeral Olympics celebration
Mm-hmm.
of the dying, that the harvest has to cycle, that we have to go, the plants have to go through, that we grew. We
Mm-hmm.
planted these seeds. We
Right.
grew these plants and we harvest from them, and then we allow them to die, and they give their nutrients back to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really celebrating that entire cycle and letting death be a part of the cycle of life.
Mm-hmm.
And not all funerals are sad.
No, that's what I was thinking about it. Funeral games, it makes sense in a different kind of way if you kind of put yourself in the perspective of the time. So we talk about again having a good Irish family. You have Irish wakes. So at
Yeah.
funerals, you're celebrating. You're celebrating the life of the person. So it's not surprising that again at a time where everyone was focused on work, work, work for the harvest, that this way that you celebrated was to play, heading
Oh.
back with a nod back to our inner child episode a few weeks ago. But no, that idea of play and sport and competition
Yep.
and being able to show that you can prepare and
Yep.
provide and just having that little aspect of revelry in that cycle of death to help it come to its full and natural completion.
And yeah, I mean, some people will be mourning the end of summer,
Yes.
the death of summer. Some people
Some of
really
us will
love
be
summer.
celebrating it.
Well, I wouldn't mind it so bad. I wouldn't mind it so much if I didn't live somewhere where it got ungodly hot this time of
Right.
year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 very much. I said, I'm so, once again very grateful for moving out of the Sacramento Valley, where it's no
Yes.
longer 108
Shh.
on a
Shut your
regular
mouth.
basis.
Shut your mouth. I'm coming over.
You're welcome anytime.
I need your 80 degrees. Okay, so then how do we celebrate Lammas or Lughnasadh? How would we celebrate as modern
Bread.
pagans?
We're baking bread. We're baking treats. Doing all the fun little baking stuff, and we're sharing with others. I think that's the big part again. The idea of the loaf mass, the Lammas,
Sharing your
or
blessings.
yeah, share the blessings. So
So
do the
first we
work.
bake the bread and then we
Then we
break the bread.
exactly, and then we eat the bread,
Yay.
all the yummy breads. But again, there's other things too, and that there's treats. There's you don't necessarily have to be bread. You can make scones, you can make cookies, you can make anything that you want. But again, the idea is something with flour or wheat,
Mm.
of any sort of
So does
grain.
that mean I could drink a beer?
Yeah, honestly,
It's funny, I don't drink beer, but
I know you don't,
I had to make the joke.
but in theory, think about it. I mean,
Yeah,
beer
no,
is
100%.
absolutely tied to bread and nourishment and a way
And
of fuel and feeding.
back in the day, it was a safer drink than water sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because the alcohol purified shit.
At least killed the icky bacteria inside of it.
That was gonna
But
make you.
yeah, so bake bread, break bread, go to Ren Fair.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I need to find a good Ren Fair around the area
It's
because
been
I
so
really do
long
want to
for
go.
me, and we keep talking about this, and I'm just
I
like,
know.
hey, remember when we went wine tasting? Just put me in your
Yes.
car, take me to Ren Fair, we'll have a good day.
Right. I
Promise.
just gotta find where one is, and I plan on making it happen.
In
Uh,
somewhere where it's not 108 degrees.
details, details.
Man, I feel for all like I am so amazed at the resiliency of the drag queens out in Pride heat
Oh God,
in a
yes.
full drag, in wigs and tons of makeup and sparkles and dresses, and I'm just like, talk about endurance.
Yes. How do you keep your makeup from not melting off your face? That is
Oh,
shocking on a constant basis.
a lot of setting spray.
Yeah, that just it
But
doesn't work
yeah,
for me. I do the setting
yeah,
spray and it's okay. It
I
helps it
can't
last an
not
extra hour or
sweat.
two. I
Yeah,
can't not sweat everything.
I can't not sweat. Yes.
But yes,
Oh,
but
Lammas.
Ren Fair, other festival fairs, medieval Renaissance fairs,
Pagan prides,
pagan prides, all those kinds of things. Where
harvest
again,
festivals,
yes,
farmers markets,
share the joy and that community, that festival air.
ritual.
Hmm.
Yep. You can always do rituals around, appreciating your abundance and
Yes,
collecting in the abundance and sharing of the abundance and gratitude for the abundance.
yes.
All of these things can be celebrated.
You can decorate your altar space if you have one with
Yep.
shapes of wheat or other aspects that again call in the symbols of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's storytelling, still storytelling, folklore, and
Oh yeah,
again,
campfire stories.
campfire stories. There's the Tale of Lugh, which would make absolute sense for
Right.
Lughnasadh, defeating Balor, which seems to represent the overcoming of blight, drought, and the scorching summer sun. I don't know the story
Just about
itself, but
just the kind of story we need this time of year.
exactly. Overcoming that
Yes.
scorching sun.
Yes. And also Lou was a craftsman and a soldier, so
Mhm.
make decorations or protections for your home. That would be a
Yes,
fabulous way to celebrate Lughnasadh.
absolutely. And it'll get
Yeah.
you in the spirit of the autumn season. So, like I said, it's okay to start your fall Halloween traditions in August. It totally is fine, right?
Yeah, it's totally normal for witch folk.
So, how are we queering this holiday?
Bake bread for your queers.
I like it.
Break bread with your queers. Get
What?
baked with your queers.
Amen to that one.
That'd be me.
Bake the treats and
Mhm.
then bake with the
Bake the
treats.
and then bake yourself and then munchie the treats. That sounds about right.
Yes, like everything is about community. At this point, I
Yeah.
think if you can't have listened to our podcast more than once or twice, we haven't
Yeah.
talked about community, and
Getting
it's
with
just
your
so
people.
important. Yeah, get with
Yeah.
people,
Feed
get
each
with other
other,
queers, feed, share, joy, talk,
love,
laugh, dance.
share your gifts,
Hmm.
support one another, give and receive.
Yes, and play
Yeah.
those
Be with
games.
people. Oh, yes. Let's have some queer reindeer games, except,
Yes,
in the middle of summer.
yes.
But
So
even it doesn't even have to be like just feats of athleticism. It
no,
could be something as simple as croquet. Didn't we do like strip croquet one time at
we
your
did do a
house
strip croquet
way
once.
back in the day?
That was so much fun. A very, very long time ago. We won't even count the years back that far.
No, and not to
But
sound suggestive off of that one, but cornhole is a pretty
mhm,
popular backyard game that doesn't take a whole lot of athleticism or, I guess a little bit of skill.
a
Get
little
in
bit
the
of skill.
hole.
Same with horseshoes. Also great, easy
Yep.
to do. But if you are not inclined, or if it is too darn hot to be outside,
Air
you can do board
conditioning.
games.
Yeah, 100% board games or RPGs even,
Uh-huh. Board games,
just
card games,
get some nerds
things.
around the table. Trust me, there's
Yes.
plenty of queer nerds out there.
Oh, heck yes.
And I love board games.
I do
I
too.
constantly make legitimate standing dates with my bestie's husband just because he and I like to play board games. I love it. I love it so
That
much that he'll play with me.
That's
Can
awesome.
we
That was
play
one of the
to
things
can
that
we
I
go
don't
play?
have any close access to board game people. And I loved board games growing up. My mom didn't, so we didn't have too many of them. And then yeah, my partner and Meta, neither of them are big board game people. It's like I want to go play board. I want to play games with somebody, please.
Well, we're gonna have a board game night at some point, so
Yes, I just have to
maybe
get
we
down there
should.
for it. Is there anything that we missed?
I think that just about covers our bread holiday.
Yes, I am ready to go dive into a nice fresh loaf of sourdough, even if I do have
Yes,
to buy it from the grocery store. I don't
or a
care.
bowl of pasta. That's bread enough
Hmm.
for me. Yeah.
Yum.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Queer Witch Project. If you like what you heard, let us know. Give us a like. Give us some stars. Don't forget to subscribe or set your alerts so that you know when our next episodes come out. And we love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And if there is a topic you'd like to suggest or a topic episode you want to know more about, please contact us at thequeerwitchproject@gmail.com or find us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram with the handle at Queer Witch Project. We upload every other week. And remember, queerness is a key to magic.
Be yourself and love rebelliously. Yay!
Bye!
Blessed Lughnasadh!
Happy Lunas, everyone! Happy Lammas!